Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks since I uploaded the first video, but I wanted to give everybody an update on my Nukeproof Scout 290 and how my budget build is coming along. Basically, I have it as a rolling chassis right now. I still have to finish the drivetrain, but I thought I would give everybody a rough idea of what I've done so far to it and what I still need to do to it. So let's dive into it. So if you remember from my first video, I was really surprised at the quality of the frame, just how nice the welds were and how nice all the accessories that came with were. I stand by that still. The hanger is a great quality hanger. The headset is great quality, really nice bearings, nice and smooth from the get-go. I didn't have to repack them or anything. So I'm really happy with everything that came in the box, and I'm really excited that I have a lot of really cool parts to put on this thing to make it a really unique build. So the first thing that you'll notice is that I'm using the Stan ZTR Crest 29er wheelset. I've had this wheelset for a few years and I like it for a couple of reasons. One, I already own it. Two, it's really light. And three, it's laced to Hope Pro 2 Evo hubs, and I really like the Hope hubs. You can see that right now I'm using a WTB Ranger 2.4. And I really like this tread pattern. It's really great for where I ride. Gives me a lot of grip when I need it. And yeah, it's nice and light. I really dig it. Now I am using a Fox 34 Stepcast. It's 120 millimeters. These usually come spec'd as 130 mil travel bikes. The reason I'm using this, again, I already owned it and I scored it for super cheap. I bought it for like $300 off of eBay a few months ago and ended up putting it on this. I like it because it's light, it's Fox, so you can really trust it, and honestly, the 120 mil works out better for me. I come from a cross-country background, and so I think that the 120 is going to be comfortable. If it's not, I'll see if I can change the air spring, and if I can't, I'll sell this guy and buy another. Okay, so these next things are going to seem really bougie, but the first thing I want to say is that for as much cool bike stuff as I have, my buddy TJ, who I work with, has so much more cool stuff than I do, and he is a really awesome dude. Highly recommend getting yourself a TJ in your life because he hooked me up with these next parts that I'm gonna show you. So please don't think that I threw down for these. I really did not. I have a cool friend with a cool stash of bike parts, and he hooked me up. Let's get back to it. Now, as for Bougie Parts, the most bougie thing that TJ hooked me up with is this Industry 9 A35 stem in red to match the red accents on the bike. Super cool. I don't think I would have bought this if it wasn't for TJ. So huge shout out to him. And I want to thank him because he hooked me up with these Bontrager Line 35 millimeter carbon handlebars. So again, huge thank you. They're the Line Pros. So nice carbon bar. I think that these are 780s. So super perfect for me. Nice and wide, lots of control. And I really, really super appreciate it, TJ. Thank you. So included in the budget parts are Shimano Dior M6000 brakes that I've had for a couple years now that I used on another bike. And these are tried and true. They're just workhorses. They don't have the same actuation as an SLX, XT, XTR, but I still really like them. They work great, and with 180 rotors front and rear, they're gonna be great. There's nothing to complain about. So, really enjoy these. You can see I'm using Ergon GE1 Slim Evo grips. I really like the feel of these. They give me a lot of control, and they're nice and sticky, but not too much. And they have a cool kinda, you can't see from here, but a cool kind of concave shape to them that gives you a little cutout for your finger for a little bit extra grip. I really dig those. So this is going to be another huge shout out to TJ, but he hooked me up with a rebuilt Fox Transfer dropper post. It's a 31.6 millimeter post, and it is a 150 mil dropper, which is perfect for me because I ride an XL, and anything bigger and it would be too big for me. So this saddle that I'm using is an old favorite. It's a Physique Tundra 2. They're really hard to come by now for cheap, but I've owned this for a ton of years and I really like this. I use this on most of my bikes. Anything that I don't use a Bontrager Montrose saddle for, I use the Physique Tundra 2. They're the same width if you buy the 128, and the same length, and basically the same profile. And for me, that's the best. It's light, it's not super comfy, but I don't ride for like 6 hours at a time. So it works, and I already owned it, which is perfect. So here I have the GXP version of the SRAM X01 crank. So it's carbon, nice and light. I'm using the SRAM chainring, it's the direct mount, and it's a 32 tooth. Usually I use a 34, but I don't think a 34 is gonna fit in this frame with the clearance, but that's fine. I have crank booties, and I'm using Shimano M8100 mountain bike pedals on this thing. I do have another set of the bigger platform XTs, but I prefer this body. Again, cross country background. So you can see I don't have a full group set on here right now. I was gonna use my Advent X group set, but I think my derailleur might be broken. Additionally, I'd rather just leave this group set on the bike I took it off of, which is a cool old rigid mountain bike that I have. I would rather buy the Shimano M5100 Dior group set, which is the new 11-speed Dior group, because that cassette goes up to a 51, which would give me a little more range for where I live in the mountains, which is really cool. And additionally, it's not super expensive. I work at a bike shop and get things at cost anyway, so that really helps keep this budget build low. But additionally, I have a Shimano 11-speed XT shifter, so I could use that and then have a really cool build with a wider range cassette. So it makes a lot more sense for me for where I live. So that's where we stand with the budget build currently. I have to finish by putting on a drivetrain. I'll let you guys know what I pick, and I'm also going to put on some of the 3M helicopter tape on the top tube, the down tube, and the chain stays. And then that way my bike is protected and it'll be all good to ride. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how I finish this build, and maybe we'll weigh it if people are into that, and we'll go from there. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you subscribe.